Greetings, everybody. Welcome, Patreons, to this very special edition of the Hidden London Hang Up. This is actually going to be broadcast to everybody in the big wide world because occasionally we show the world what you get if you're one of our Patreons. And tonight is one of those nights. You don't join me from my usual location in the lounge. I'm actually feeling a whole lot more relaxed. Having just had my dinner, I'm in the kitchen. And I'm not the only one. Chris, interestingly, Chris Nix, as you know, is joining us with a pussy in his hand. Who's that, Chris?
I am. Well, with perfect timing, our new kitten, Leonard, has just joined us. And you might remember I introduced him when he was a very weeny kitten on an episode earlier this season. And yeah, he's just trotted in and decided he wants to become part of the show. So
nice. Give that one a stroke. That's all good. And Laura Hilton-Brown is with us as well in normal surroundings, normal habitat, Laura.
Yeah, I like to keep it, you know, I like my set as it is. I was thinking, actually, I think I've unfortunately missed the last two of these hang-ups. So I haven't been around for a while, so I'm quite excited to be back.
It's quite cool because poor old Siddles, she's not very well, Siddy Holloway. And obviously, if you're joining us around the world, you're thinking, what on earth is going on? The Hidden London Hang-Up is a much, much more relaxed, chatty affair, really, an opportunity for us to just chit chat about what we've been up to, introduce you to new people who we've met along the way, and catch up with where we all are in terms of episodes past and present, and indeed the future. So we haven't got Siddy because poor old Siddy is not very well, but hugely excited about this. Cast your minds back to the episodes that we've done about the Elizabeth line, and we met an absolute star turn called Keith. Keith Valler is one of the driver trainers at one of the depots on the Elizabeth line, and I'm delighted to say, at last minute, he's decided to join us in place of Siddles. Keith, hi.
Hi.
This is so cool. So cool. Keith has been so much fun over the last few episodes, and we just thought we could have a bit of a giggle. So, I mean, Keith, you've met us in the flesh. You've met us on the Hangouts. Are we just as mad in real life as we are on the episode?
Yes.
Good. I love this. We'll hear more from Keith throughout this episode. But what usually happens with these, and this is absolutely the same today, is we have a chat function that goes along at the side of all of our Patreon episodes where our special Patreons are allowed to chat to us and we read out their comments as we go. Last time we did this, I think, was on the Isle of Wight episode where we did a driver's eye of the line from Ryde to Shanklin. And we just thought, well, we've had some really cool episodes recently. We've had Bond Street open and we've done that lovely exclusive driver's eye episode on the Elizabeth line. So it's why not have a little look and show you a bit more exclusive content as well. So Patreons, you get this first. The world gets it in a few weeks' time. Loads of hellos to all of the usual people. Because this is going out to lots of people around the world, I'm not going to mention names. You know who you are. I'll just read them out. One person says, I'm curious what Moquette Alex has in his kitchen. It's funny you should say that because I've got my laptop case with me. And of course, we all know this is Straub. So I've got that. And what else have I got around here?
I think the answer to the question, what maquette you've got in the kitchen, is all of it.
Yeah, a bit.
Your house is generally littered with every variety of maquette.
A bit. If it's any consolation, I've got a Britannia Airways spice rack there that was actually an old cabin crew trolley. So we've got a few bits and pieces. Now, first of all, Laura, I'm going to come to you because we've had a bit of mail arrive, haven't we? And
we have
a special.
We have, and we got a letter with it as well, and it's from one of our viewers called Carol Ergen. Oh, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Carol, for the note. So I was lucky enough today. Well, was I lucky? I was in the office. I don't know if that's lucky or not, but I was lucky enough to be in the office, and I was checking our mail. I was actually sending something out, and I saw a parcel that said, fragile, delicate for the Hangout crew. Oh. And I opened it up. It was lent against my plant a little precariously there. And Carol had made us this.
Oh, wow.
Heavens.
That's
Get back into the shot again, Laura. Say something.
What moquette is this as well? I actually don't know.
That's TFL Rail.
TFL Rail.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Well done.
315 TFL Rail, that's wrong.
See,
I mean,
a reason to have him with us immediately.
I should have maybe asked that before the episode, and then I could have looked like I knew what it was. But how lovely. So she crafted that for us and is taking her grandson on the Aldwych tour. They actually had it cancelled over the summer, unfortunately, because of the rail strikes. And so we're putting them back on and she's going along to it. And she said, I was thinking about you guys and I thought, how amazing that you made it to 100. And so crafted us this.
I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. Chris,
Very
do you
cool,
know
hey?
off the top of your head the postbag address? I mean, it used to be BBC Television Centre, Wood Lane, London, W12 7RJ, but I don't think we can do that, can we?
Well, it's our head office at Albany House, and the address is appearing by magic just here. I know you like it when I do this.
I love it. I love it. I love your pull down box. It's great. First of all, we've got a really nice photograph that was taken of the gang before we boarded the train on the Elizabeth line. Chris, it's a bit of a corker, actually. I'm quite proud of it. I might even frame it.
It was. We had a lovely day out when we were in the cab with Emma. And then we carried on the lovely day out by staying in the cab with Keith and Sham there on the right-hand side.
Particularly like the fact that my shirt is hanging out of my jeans.
Yeah, that's great. It's like,
corner.
if you ever watch the TV show Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, they would often recommend the French tuck, where you leave the front of the shirt untucked, and you've kind of it's like halfway across the channel tuck there, isn't it?
I'm not entirely sure. What do you call that? The French tuck?
The French tuck. You got to be careful how you say it.
I don't know. Is it French tuck or beer gut? I'm not sure. But I do like that photograph. And obviously a very, very dishy photograph of you, Keith.
Yeah, look at smart.
He's tucked in.
Very, very nice. I have to say, Chris, 4 very dishy guys and a very beautiful train.
Well, why? Thank you for including me in the dishy guys comment there. I think it was a very handsome cab.
Dishy.
So Chris, and there's me, and then there's Keith, and there's lovely Sham, one of our drivers who's become a very, very good chum of ours. And Keith, I have to say, before Christmas, you and Sham will be stars of the show of your very own episode.
Can't wait to see it.
It's going to be good. I think the Christmas party is going to be nice. And actually, while we're talking about this, Keith, those trains they have some very interesting uses because you've had a wedding on one of them, haven't you?
We did.
Impromptu.
Very impromptu, yeah. Yeah,
And,
it was a bit of a, I guess they did it to beat lockdown rules. The maximum amount of people in a train is obviously more than you can have in a church at the time. So, yeah, there was a wedding on board the train.
I just love that.
Well, wedding
Were other passengers like mingled in, or did they manage to kind of
No,
accommodate
they
the whole?
decorated the whole carriage, and they put all garlands along the top of the carriage.
Oh,
Was it
Yeah.
a moving train?
Yeah.
It was a service train. It was a train in service, so they could beat lockdown rules because they were on public transport.
I see. I mean, it does
Very
make a slightly problematic wedding certificate, doesn't it, for location? Like Bond Street, go!
Well, I'm guessing the official paperwork was signed in the official location, but the party was held on the train.
That's absolutely fantastic. Lovely. So yeah, exactly. What was the place of marriage? And this is what I love about these episodes, because we actually get proper genuine conversation between our Patreons and us via the chat function, which is great. If incidentally you'd like to join the Patreon service, Chris, how do our lovely viewers do this?
Well, it's very easy. You go to the museum website and you look for the Hidden London tab, navigate your way down what's appearing here into our membership section, and you can see which level of Patreon membership suits you.
Now, bearing in mind, when you see this, dear viewer, dear punter around the world, our Patreons will have seen this many, many weeks ago. So it's a really cool way of getting to know what we're doing a lot earlier than when the rest of the world sees it. But anyway, it also helps the museum with their projects and research. Now, what we thought we'd do today is give you a snippet, a chunk actually, of the journeys that we were unable to show in the actual episodes. Is that right, Chris?
Absolutely right. Yes. So the stuff that we filmed with Emma was wonderful. It was very rich and it was a very full episode. And so the bit that we'd filmed on the return journey coming back to Liverpool Street, that warranted a show of its own. And here we are.
I just had a bit of a fangirl moment because there was this hilarious thing where Sham is driving back into Liverpool Street for us. Hello, Sham.
Hey,
Thank you. Welcome to the Hangouts. And Keith just in the most manly way said, "I'll take the train now," and just literally took over the controls. It was just the most dramatic thing.
Went from interviewee to driver in a split second,
Sitting
like a
there, you
coiled
know,
spring.
exactly. 1 minute he's after, lilies and blue M&Ms, and the next minute he's driving the train. He wants his rider.
Also, I'm very excited because there's another button being used, which we haven't seen before because it's a bit wet. What do you call it again, Keith?
Well, what does it look like?
Well, the button looks like a snail.
Between the train and the
But-
Easy way to remember things.
But ironically, it's a button that doesn't make it go slower, it helps you go faster, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what's it do?
We press that to manually apply some sand to the track where we've got a bit of a slippery rail day like we've got today. So
So
you
you
don't
just dump
generally
sand?
actually use it that much, and just a small amount of finite sand comes out and gives us that extra grip.
And that just injects it underneath the wheel
Yeah,
as
there's little
the
pipes come
diagram
down
suggests.
straight onto the wheels.
So do you think we'll see a bit of it on the way out of this
Well,
station?
Quite possibly. Gidea Park is a notorious place for a bit of slippery rail conditions, so we'll see what happens.
Excellent. So is it that you just feel it slipping? And
You'll feel it. You'll feel it as we pull away.
Right,
You
okay.
tell me if you feel it.
Romford.
Oh, tell me if you feel it, Chris. Now, Sharon, just while we're
I'm
with
definitely
you, just
feeling
it's so funny. Everyone's been going. This has been a very, very polite show so far. It's not been cheeky at all. Here we go. Are we ready?
Are we going to get any slippage?
Oh, it's very good. Do you know what it is? Because you're really good.
Coming out of here.
Oh,
Just under here, sometimes you'll get it.
Train to Liverpool
There you go.
We go.
Street.
oh,
So
look,
it's
the
so
sand.
that's
I'll put
doing
that
it
on.
automatically then.
Yeah,
when
it's just doing it
flashes.
automatically, so we just.
Next station.
So and it just dumps sand on the
Yeah,
track.
it's doing it all automatically.
Oh, this is so cool.
On this bit of the line, are we allowed to get a bit of horn as well?
Do you want to try the horn?
Can I
Yes,
play- can I
please.
play with the
Alex is best
Go on
placed.
then.
Can I play with the
So you
horn?
want to go top and bottom. So
Okay.
push it up, push it down.
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Oh,
So, my heart started racing when I did that. I can't remember which
We've
was
got
more
to
fun,
wave
the
to
top
the
or the
other
bottom bit
driver.
actually. But it's funny that so he's done the two finger like that, and I did the actual sort of wave like that. That's not
Yeah.
such a stylish thing. Shan, how long have you been driving trains?
Nearly 5 years now.
Really?
Nearly 5 years, yeah, coming up to 5 years.
And before that, what did you do?
I was a police officer for the Met Police.
Well done.
you're in trouble,
Well done.
Alex.
Yeah, sorry. Really, it wasn't me to quote Shaggy. It really wasn't me. What's it like to drive the trains on these lines?
It's amazing. Obviously, brand new trains, brand new line.
Next station.
Complete different career for me.
Romford.
Really good, really good, really good. Social hours are really good, and yeah, I love it. Every day, you just don't know what you can deal with. We
Mind
have
the
3
gap
different signal
between the train
systems,
and
so
the platform.
we'll be out here on the east, on the west, or through the cos. So we've got a bit of a mixture every day. Really good, really good. I love
Which
it.
bit do you like the most? I mean, there must be something really cool. We're going to coming up to it very soon, where we swoop down into central London.
Yeah.
Well, at least we'll see where you go. Is that the bit that gets you going? What is the bit of the line that makes you go, oh, great?
There are 2 things. I think in the evening, when you're leaving Stratford, going towards Liverpool Street, you see all the high rises and tower blocks and offices all lit up. You see London lit up. It's really nice. And also when you're in a 315,
The old trains.
I love the 315s. I want to do my faves. You actually had a window down. Summer's day, sunglasses on, arm out the window. It's brilliant, and you actually feel like you're driving.
Arm out the window. Do you have a Yorkie bar in your mouth? Or anything like that? Is it-
It's either driving instructor chic or Starsky and Hutch, maybe. I don't know.
Stupid.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, these are lovely trains. Don't get me wrong, but
Quite like going retro.
I do. Yeah.
That's my boy. That's my
Just
boy.
like my fashion.
I'm still quite taken by it's very nice retro poster. Very beautiful.
You're
I'm
enjoying
still-
being driven by Keith.
I'm really enjoying being driven by Keith. This is
I
very
did say
exciting.
it is the best.
Is he a good boss?
Street.
He's the best boss.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm not saying that. He is.
I thought you might let rip.
No, he's awesome. He's awesome.
You can just tell when people drive a train with confidence. It's like any vehicle, when somebody knows what
Freight
it should
train.
be doing, and yeah.
I'll be honest with you, it's
So,
like the Angora on my
I
car.
like the underground, we get freight trains going.
Oh wow, yeah, freight train.
Oh,
that's,
wow.
that's huge. That's a big
Oh,
one.
Francis Bourgeois would be so happy with this, wouldn't he?
I could,
So
you know, just
I
at the end
drove
of it.
those for 22 years.
Did you?
Yeah.
Heavens above.
So that's a completely different kettle of fish compared to these.
Well, I'm carrying
Vitamin
quite a lot of
regime
cargo.
that you want, because you don't look old enough for all of these accomplishments.
You see some of Keith's pictures.
Oh, we've seen them.
From freight days.
36 years.
Model behaviour. I always say so, model behaviour.
It's very, very impressive. Very impressive. We saw the little family album
Oh,
of
nice.
the 36 years of working on the railways.
Nice.
And he has got sort of cuts quite a fashion dash, doesn't he? About
Yeah.
1986.
As an
Went
Asian,
downhill after that.
Speaking of the fashion dash, we were hearing about your busman's holiday that's coming up of going and doing some Swiss railway
Yeah.
action. I notice your watch is Mondaine Swiss
It
railway
is,
watch.
And if you notice, the lanyard is also a SBB
Yes.
lanyard.
But you know, he's so on message because the first thing he said was, you know, you can get these watches at London Transport
can.
Museum shop.
Well, indeed,
It's like, wow.
I do have one from London
Do you?
Transport Museum shop.
I covet one. That's what probably what
They
I
are
do. I
lovely.
lust after them. But
They are
it's good.
lovely.
There's something very dramatic, isn't there, about, and this is probably where your job gets really exciting, is when we're coming into London and trains are going either side of you all the time. It's
Yeah, yeah.
really quite.
when you first start learning how to drive, the first time you see a train coming towards you, all different directions.
Yeah.
You can feel the vibrations as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is quite daunting to begin with, but after a while, you just get used to it. You don't probably notice them even, to be fair.
It's really cool, and I still sort of pinch myself and think, is this a job? You know, it's so cool sitting, you know, or standing or sitting in a cab of a train, just watching the world fly past you.
It's surreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
One thing we learned from Emma
Mind's the gap
was
between
these
train
personal
and the
protection
platform.
habits.
Yeah.
Especially when you're coming into stations. What's your way of remembering which side your platform's on and all that kind of?
Emma's like John Travolta, just to say, she goes, staying alive.
So I normally tap and verbalise. So I'll say left-hand side door release or right-hand side door release. But then again, I bring a lot of my skills from the policing as well.
Mhm.
We used to do commentating driving. So when you're on the Blues and Twos course, you're supposed to commentate where you can see 100 metres down the road, not what's in front of you. So stuff like that. So yeah.
Do you still occasionally spot suspects on the platform then? Is that
All the time, mate. I've still got a couple of nose. I can point them out straight away. So
I've got a
yeah,
guilty face.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I can do that.
So I can remember coming to Stratford for the first time when the JLE had just started to open.
Jubilee line, yeah?
Yeah, Jubilee Line extension had opened, and this station was designed to integrate with a fabulous number of different lines. You've got the main line, you've got DLI, you've got the Central, you've got the Jubilee, and at the time it was already built to receive yet more traffic. So it's now kind of at full operation. One of the things JLE's got
Liverpool Street.
was Canning Town Portal, but
Yeah.
this line has got its own portal, hasn't it?
Next
And it's
station,
coming up. Keith,
Liverpool
just tell us
Street.
what we're about to see, because we saw it on the way out of town.
So,
What we got?
if you see ahead the green signal, we've got a route indicator on the moment that points to the left. We call that position 1 route indicator. That's going to take us to Liverpool Street. Position 4, which would go the other way, directly right, will take you into the central operating section. So
That is your tunnel into the Elizabeth Line Central.
Straight into the central operating section of Elizabeth Line, yeah. So we're going to go round the outside of it, Docklands to the left.
So that black hole in front of us is the
That is
Elizabeth
it.
Line going into town?
That is it.
Oh, that's really cool.
And you'll whiz down there, and then the next station is Whitechapel.
I mean, wow. Look at that, just there. It's just
And you
there.
can see how steep it is.
Another
as well.
roller coaster. It's
Yeah.
great.
It's just fabulous. Can't wait for us to be able to do this. It's so nice. Chris Bevanley on camera, thank you so much as always for today. And in the cab we literally have the crew, with the exception of the delicious Scott, who just makes everything work, doesn't he? Scott.
And he is doing that most important thing of minding our bags outside
Most
while we're
amazing.
having the fun up here, bless him.
It's so
Thanks,
cool.
Scott.
As always, I know you've not got a microphone on, but thank you so much. You're right close to me, so it's all right. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's always good. And Keith, what a star you are! Just
Thank you.
jumping into the
Well,
driver's seat every so
That's
often.
my job.
It's marvellous. And Sham's obviously driving at the moment. It's a bit busy, but he's doing his thing. And the approach into London, I always think any approach into London stations is exciting, but the one into Liverpool Street, there is so much going on. There's a bombardment of information.
There really is, just massive number of things heading into that station. So yeah, hurtling along, we'll soon be in town.
Bethnal Green, Shoreditch Old Station on what was the East London
There
line.
was one
now.
here as well.
And what was this one? Here?
Coburg Road or Coburg Street. There's two between Bethnal Green and Stratford that are closed. You can just see where they were.
How interesting. So many
Yeah.
of those. And when, I wonder when they closed.
Oh, 1940s.
Really?
Yeah.
So it
If
wasn't
not
Dr.
earlier.
Beeching.
No. You can see here, there was one here. You can see the middle where it's been slewed over a little bit.
Yeah.
Slight change. There's a lot more room either side.
It just goes to show how much it's raining as well.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
And I love the fact now we know what those two numbers are on the signs. One for freight, one for
the
public
speed
transport.
restriction. Yeah.
Really
so
cool.
One for freight, one for passenger.
Every time I go out on a job, we always learn new stuff. I think it's fantastic.
Gradually harvesting information.
Isn't it lovely as well? Look at London
Great
skyline
view.
as well, and it's just incredible. I mean, this is what the drivers get, isn't it, Emma? It's just like every opportunity to see another new brilliant view of London. It's fabulous.
At night, it's spectacular.
Yeah,
It
I
really
bet.
is.
It's pretty impressive up the croft, isn't it?
Red ahead.
It's very kind of you to say so, Chris. You got a nice undercroft yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. This is your driver speaking. We're currently held at a red signal just outside Liverpool Street Station. Once this train on the right hand side is departed, it will be the next train in. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, he's so lovely, isn't he?
What a parade.
He's so lovely.
Impressed you didn't make a crafty fart noise just at the end of it.
Hello, Mum!
Part of our concession is announcement made within 30 seconds of stopping at a red signal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So straight away we stop.
Get on the
Announcement.
Get on the blower.
It's a good standard of service. I only wish all drivers would do that.
Oh, I'm really, really impressed by all this. It's so cool.
Next station, Liverpool Street, where this train terminates. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sorted.
So used to that now. See it, say it. So
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
That's how you should wave at people. Not my silly can't wait.
So we've got this sign here that's on the buffer stops that reminds drivers to open the door on the right hand side.
Yeah, because very slim platform on the left.
It used to be a
Used to be a platform on the left. So
You could do it.
the
but now
platform
not.
was removed. Let's not have any incidents.
DRA. Right.
You
hand side
guys
door.
are just the best. Absolutely
Fabulous
the best.
fun.
What fun! That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Laura, you went on that journey. Tell us what you thought of that.
Do you know what? I thought it was really, really cool. And I particularly like the kind of energy between you guys, Sham, Keith, Emma. It was really lovely. I was upset kind of not to be part of it. But I loved Sham's really just candid explanation of the bits that he really loved, that feeling of coming in and seeing the kind of city skyline and the lights. I mean, that's right up my street. I love that kind of stuff. And then his other one is just, arm out of the window, shades on, having a kind of, really cool day. I love that. I thought that was a really nice bit.
Yeah, it was really cool, wasn't it? That was really, really lovely. And Chris, what did you make of it as well?
I thought it was a very privileged ride, as always. We, when we get to go and do these things, it does feel fabulously privileged to do it. So glad we could take people along to join us.
I've got a question for you, Keith, because I'm delighted to say he's with us for the whole duration of this episode. Did you always want to be a train driver? Because so many people had dream jobs of either being an astronaut or a train driver or an estate agent. Actually, scrub the third one, an astronaut or a train driver.
Yeah, for me, it was always a train driver. My dad's a train driver. He was. He's retired now, but yeah, it was the one job I wanted to do. That or a teacher, would you believe? So,
really? See, I do
yeah,
that
Well,
now.
you've kind of got that, haven't you?
Yeah.
The job that you do.
Now you teach people to drive trains, and
Well, I don't really, because I'm their manager, so I don't actually do any teaching. But yeah, I do give them a bit of a cuddle sometimes. I do look after them, so I guess that's still teaching.
he's so lovely. Question from one of our Patreons.
Yeah, Julian's just asked a really cool question to
Yeah.
Keith, actually. I saw
Freight.
that, yeah.
Is
Go
freight
on.
generally better behaved than people?
Oh, that's a question, isn't it? You know what? I'm not just saying it because I'm saying it, but the passengers we've got on the Elizabeth line, especially on the east end of the route where we have quite a lot of interaction with the passengers, are absolutely fantastic. When we had the 315s more or less every journey, you have the cab window down, the amount of people that say thank you, you just wouldn't believe. Yeah, really quite touching. It is. I mean, I'm sure if you ask Sham, it's the same. Forest Gate and Harold Wood and them sort of places, people would always say thank you to you. So yeah.
I think what's really interesting as well, Keith, is that the Elizabeth line is a really positive feeling station line. You know, that anyone who's on that railway seems incredibly happy that it's there. The stations are beautiful, the trains are modern, the people who work there and all the staff we've met are happy to be going to work. It's such a lovely feeling to be on that line.
It is in my career. I mean, as you know, I've done a long while on the railways, and it's definitely the best feeling company I've ever worked for. There's a real company ethos there, everyone working together, and it shows. If you can see it, then that's a positive thing for us, and we can take that away. But you've met various drivers now, and you met a couple the other day when we went out again, and different age groups, and they've all got that same attitude, which I try and foster. So
it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Now, you mentioned it in one of the films. I'd like you to, could you show me your clock? You've got a nice watch, haven't you? Oh, that's very fancy. Talk us through what it is.
That is an SBB Mondane train driver's watch.
And Nixie, you've got a really nice clock as well, haven't you?
I did. I mentioned in the film that I have one too. I've got the one with the black coloured face on it, and I got mine from the museum shop. There you go. Absolutely fantastic. Great piece of design, I think. Also incredibly durable. Sapphire face on it, so it's very practical despite being very slim. The Mondane watch actually emanates from the Swiss Railway clock, the official Swiss Railway clock, which was designed in 1944 by Hans Hilfiger. Great name.
Hans as in Hans Clock.
Yeah. Well, without the D, but yeah.
I've got to tell you, Alex, there is a huge 100-foot one at a station outside Bern.
Don't tell him that.
Don't tell me this.
He's a massive clock fan.
I need to tell you the name of the
100-foot
station.
clock.
So the watch is actually a relatively recent spin-off. So Hans Hilfiger designed the official Swiss Railway clock for the Federal Swiss Railway, and he was an engineer and designer. And it wasn't until 1986 that Mondane took that classic face of the clock and turned it into a watch. I'm glad they did. It's very,
I love the way you two have gone all QVC on us. This is so funny.
Well, that one's available at the museum shop, but I'm very, very grateful to my local jewellers, CS Bedford. Lovely chap called Steve earlier today, because I was there going, oh, I showed this on the show. Dead battery. So he did me a rush job. So thanks for that, Steve. The other thing about clocks, of course, you run railways on clocks and watches, don't you? So I want to talk balls.
Sorry?
I want to talk balls.
Okay, I'm not sure where this is going, but let's go with it.
Web C ball, to be exact. Now, I think our American viewers might know where this is going. The much, much older railway timepiece from America. and it traces back to the Great Kipton train wreck on the 18th of April, 1891 in Ohio. And there was a head-on collision with two trains. 8 people died, fortunately. And the cause of it was found to be that one of the railway engineer's watches was incorrect. And so they thought they were okay to be on the track when they weren't. And that was before, if you remember, we've talked about these absolute block systems that we have at the start of the show every week and at the end. So they were using timing on the railway. So they didn't have that signal protection. And so Webb C. Ball was appointed, get this, great title, Chief Time Inspector. And he was the chap who introduced standardized time across the railways and had a team of about 1,800 time inspectors who went out across the rail with most of the railways. And it was known as Ball Time Service. How about that? So they do still make watches today, so you can buy Ball timepieces.
Is it safe to declench my buttocks now? I'm not sure where this conversation was going, where it should have done. Laura, I need your help. Can we make this safe again? Oh my goodness.
I don't have an interesting watch. I've got a little bit of watch envy of Keith and Chris, to be fair. Can't lie. They're nice timepieces.
I think we should. Christmas is coming up, team. You know, maybe Laura and I deserve a nice London Transport Museum clock.
Yeah, can we pretend like it's a big birthday, and so we need like a really decent present? Not that they're not decent.
Trust me, at my age, every year is a big birthday. It really does. If only I could turn back time, to quote Cher. We also ought to mention Bond Street, because at the time when our lovely Patreons are watching this, Bond Street has just opened. It was yesterday, it happened for me, and I loved going around and seeing that station. And now it's open. It's quite funny because the episode we filmed at Bond Street was well before it opened. I mean, the building work was still going on. It was an amazing structure, gorgeous infrastructure, if you like. But now it's open. There's something wonderful about the whole thing being in service. I can't wait for you to see it, Nixie.
Yeah, I can't wait to use it. I was in town yesterday and thought, shall I do a deliberately diverted journey just to do it? But no, I'm sure next time I'm in town, it'll be a real help to get home, because it just transforms that journey and connection.
It's gorgeous. And Keith, I mean, I've seen on your Facebook, there's some very nice pictures of Bond Street Station. Have you been round with your Polaroid camera?
Yeah, I went round on Sunday because that was our last day of testing. So the Elizabeth line before we opened on November 6th with the through running. So we had a massive testing day on Sunday, and I got the chance to jump off at Bond Street and have a little nosy around, which is what I did.
I absolutely love it. Do you know what? While I was there last night, I was coming back from, dare I say, a slightly boozy night out. And as I was going down the second escalator towards the platforms, Jeff Marshall was on the other escalator coming up. And we've never met before. So last night, hello, Jeff, hope you're all right. And so I met him at the bottom of the escalators before I boarded my train, which was rather lovely. So hello, Jeff, hope you're all right. And I think that's about it really for our Patreon episode. Don't you, Nixie? Have we got anything else? Anything else? Anybody?
Yes, I trust when you were going down those escalators, you admired the 2 beautiful bits of artwork on the way down as well.
I love all the stuff down there. You'll be delighted to know, Laura, while I was on the one of the escalators, it's the second largest on the network. I'm talking about the escalator, by the way.
At Bond Street?
So
I did not know that.
The only bigger one is at Angel, and it's by about a foot. So if they just had a little hump on the escalator to get you up and over, it could have been the longest one.
What you needed was a little escalator to take you up, and then
to the escalator,
get it higher up, and then bring you down. Yeah.
Or dig a little hole, like a little puddle at the bottom of the escalator shaft where you just dip down. It's awesome. And of course, you've got that lovely artwork, the clapperboard, not the clapperboard, but the clatterboard, isn't it? So there's all loads of stuff to go and see at Bond Street. If you haven't been, go and have a look. It's fantastic. Before we go any further, the Patreons get a bit more time with us. This is how it tends to work, for a bit of question and answer and a bit of a natter about our world, in a more intimate conversation, to be perfectly honest, than we would ever put on a program. But there we go. If you want to be part of it, you've got all the details. It's coming up on the screen right there. Thank you very much indeed, Keith. You are a star.
You're welcome.
Absolutely wonderful. Laura Hilton Brown, we love you. Maybe we'll get a watch for Christmas.
I'm hoping for a watch, but I'm also hoping to ask Keith a sneaky question because I missed that episode. If I could ever go in the cab with you or Sham, potentially.
Yes.
I think that's a lovely idea, actually. Laura, can I just come and hold your hand? Because any time I can spend with Sham and Keith is time well spent as far as I'm concerned. Bit of a fangirl, have to admit. And of course, thank you very much indeed to Scott. Scott is not on the episode today, although in the box just beside me, he's there watching from his, he actually lives in a place which has got the largest shaft in London as far as lift shafts go. So that is a little hint as to whereabouts in the capital that
I'm
boy
sure he'll be
is.
really pleased that you've just said that.
I think it's the street name or the door number. Don't worry, you're all right. There's a lot of roads in Hampstead. But Chris Nix, thank you so much as always as well.
Thank you. If you remember when we did the episode with episode 1 of series 6 with Emma, when she very kindly had us in the cab, in that episode I described Keith as a train driving ninja, and I stand by that assessment.
Train driving it. Put that on your LinkedIn, Keith.
Ninja.
Absolutely love it. Okay, so because this is an episode that's going out to everybody, let me just remind you, if you want to find us on Instagram, it's Alex Grundon, Chris Nick, City Holloway, Hidden London Law, and at LT Museum. Thanks indeed for finding us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and follow, and comment down below on the sort of things that you want from subsequent episodes of the Hidden London Hangouts. And we'll catch you very, very soon indeed. Have yourself a great day and stay safe. Cameras on.